Patrick Reed, 77. Patrick, what do you take from today?
Well, I got all my bad shots out of the way. It's just one of those days. I couldn't find a fairway, and from there, trying to guess out of the rough all day, and it was hard. It was brutal, and out of the rough, it seemed like because as the week's going on, it's getting a little longer, a little thicker. Ball's kind of sitting more to the bottom. It's a guessing game how it's going to come out, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to guess correctly, and at the same time, wasn't able to put the ball in the right spot. So it was just kind of one of those days that when I hit the quality and good golf shot, it still ended up in a spot on the green that I had to be really defensive, couldn't actually be aggressive with putting, and then when I missed greens, it seemed just to be in spots that chipping it to 4 or 5 feet would have been absolutely amazing. I mean, there's some of those holes out there that I would have taken 8 feet from some of the spots, 10 feet where I put it.
We're going to go to the WebEx. Do you have a chance tomorrow, and how much help would you need?
Hey, you're definitely going to need some help. But at the end of the day, it's a long shot, but you saw how fast it can go the wrong direction. I mean, you get just a little off around here, I mean, you can make some numbers. And, the good thing is, even though, I'm, 3 over par, leader's at 5. If I go out and, I do something like I did on Mondays, I go out and shoot a really low one, and finally hit some fairways, hit some greens, make some putts. You never know. It's a Sunday at a major. The guy that's in the lead, he's a great golfer, and all the guys here are. It's just kind of one of those things that you just never know.
Yeah, you just threw an acorn at your playing partner. Do you think if you actually touched him, he would feel it?
No, definitely not. As I'm walking by, he's like, "Oh, I spent the whole day in the rough." I mean, he probably hit 7 more fairways than I did today. It's just kind of one of those things that, he handled himself well. He was able to manage himself around the golf course, and he seemed to just miss when he missed fairways or missed balls, he missed it in the right spots. And I think that was the biggest thing today is when I did miss a fairway, most of them I missed in okay spots, but they were far enough offline today that it wasn't in the semi-rough. It was in the really thick stuff. And when you get in the really thick stuff, ball seems always, you kind of sit all the way to the bottom, and then it's just a hack out. And, my short game just could not save me today. I mean, it was in too bad of spots, and then when I would miss the green, it was in areas that I just couldn't get up and down. And, just kind of one of those things that you just can't. You can't continue missing fairways and missing greens and expect to continue shooting under par. So, the good thing is I feel like I got all my bad shots out of the way today, and hopefully tomorrow I can go out and hit some fairways, hit some greens, and make some putts.
I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Alex?
Patrick, did you feel like you lost confidence with your driver during the day?
No, I didn't. There's a lot of holes out here where it's a either or, depending on wind, on whether it's a driver or 3-wood. And, I felt like our game plan was still solid. I felt like I was making aggressive golf swings towards the targets, whether I was hitting the fade or whether hitting the draw. I was just off today. I just didn't, felt like the warm-up was solid. Felt like I was moving it both ways comfortably out there and on the driving range. And when I got to the golf course, it just wasn't quite where it needed to be. And, that's the thing is when you miss the fairways, especially here, you're going to have to be penalized for it. And, on the front side, even though I shot 1 under par, I hit hole 4 and 9 were my only 2 fairways. Number 2, even though I missed the fairway, I put it in the fairway bunker. So you hit it in a fairway bunker, as long as the lip's not in your way, it's almost like you're happy. It's almost like playing from the fairway rather than playing out of the rough. And, it's just stuff like that where the first 2 days, even though I was missing fairways, there was a lot of semis and first cuts rather than hitting in the really thick stuff. And today it seemed like the ball just kind of almost bounced over the semis and ended up in the thicker stuff.
Last question. How would you describe your emotions right now?
Frustrated. Anyone in my position would be frustrated, especially with having the lead going into today. But the great thing is there's always tomorrow. And like I said, it's a U.S. Open. I mean, even though 8 shots seems like a lot of times you go out there, you make a birdie, the guy makes a bogey, gets himself in some trouble. I mean, that's a 2-shot swing quickly. So, it's one of those things that even though I'm 8 shots back, if I go out and play a really solid round tomorrow, you never know.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yep.